Well, good morning everybody. It's 8:10 and I've been up early. Cheers. What have I got today? Well, it's a Waitrose, fennel and lemon, I think it is, and it might have ginger in. I thought I'll try Waitrose own brand of different types of tea. It's the first time I've tasted it. When you can taste the fennel. Fennel's a very good thing for your stomach if you have stomach problems. I know I used to get it for my youngest son when he was a little baby because he had problems sometimes, and I used to buy fennel water for him, and it used to do the trick. So, such a lovely drink. I'd give that 10 out of 10, I really would. So I'll be getting some more. I think it's got dandelion in as well. Well, I feel that I've been wrapped around with a lovely warm blanket of joy because I've had some lovely comments from you once again. I've been putting these videos up most days, and sometimes I thought, oh dear, I've got nothing really to put up or whatever. Then I suddenly find something and think, oh, I'll share it with you. You're taking the place of what I used to do when I used to ring my mum up, really. So that's it. So what have I got to tell you? Like I say, it's lovely to have some of your comments. It really does lift me up and keeps me going with the channel. So I never do anything unless it's in an extreme way, and people that know me are never surprised that things are done in extremes. So you saw what I got yesterday. I shared it with you as soon as I'd got it. Well, this, I've put a lot of the buttons in this beetroot jar. It's a big jar and it's massive. But for now, I thought that was better than it being in a plastic bag. And I can look at them all. I think they're lovely, I really do. That brings me joy. Right, put it down, else I'll give myself another hernia. And then the Nescafe one that you saw. There's some lovely buttons in, there really is. And if you remember the little bureau that I got, the miniature bureau, I filled that up with buttons as well. I thought, where can I put them all? Because being the squirrel that I am, I have to squirrel things away so that it doesn't get too overwhelming, which it can do at times. But I'm quite happy, and when I go out to water, I have to go through the porch, and I can undo one of the drawers and see all the buttons, and to me, that's lovely. Call me weird, I don't care. I don't care. Keep the eccentric in English, that's how I say. English eccentric. So, oh, I'm crinkling again, sorry. That's the ready cut wall. Now, I've just thought about something that tickled me, and it tickled one or two of us at the time. But as we say around here, if people sort of overstep the mark, we say, the brass neck of that, well, the ready cut reminded me of a friend of my late father-in-law. We used to call him ready cut because everybody around here, if they worked anywhere, they were given nicknames. So he was called ready cut, so that's how I'll call him. Just so I don't identify him any further, folks, what I've got to tell you. So my father-in-law had had quite a lot of heart attacks, and he was a detective in the police force, and he retired early, and unfortunately he passed away. I think he was only about 61, something like that. But he got quite a lot of friends, and one of his friends, we'll call him Reddicut, when my father-in-law passed away, he was very much opportunist, like one or two of his friends were really. And my father-in-law had got a disability badge because he couldn't walk long distances at all. So hence he had to have the disability badge. Anyway, when he passed away, his friend came round and asked my mother-in-law if he could have the badge. You know, I mean, honestly, obviously she didn't let him have it because it's just not right. But it never ceases to amaze me about people. People are people, and that's it. You have to take everybody. We've all got our faults, you know, and some of them are quite amusing. I mean, I've come to show you really what I've got in this box, but when my father-in-law did pass away, there was a hell of a lot of people came to have a look at what tools he'd got, you know, and really what they could get, you know. So, I don't know, it's each to their own, isn't it? But it was wrong in a way, but also very amusing, and I've got to share that with you. See, that's taboo. This is why it takes me ages to do anything. Well, it doesn't, because sometimes I'm like a bull at a gate. My husband said, you know, you go full pelt, whereas my husband, he'll keep going, and he'll just keep going all day because it takes it at a steady pace. Whereas me, I've got to rush everything, and then I wear myself out. Anyway, enough of this waffle. I've got to cough. It is early in the morning. I did show you some of the materials that I got. I've taken some of it upstairs out of the way. Now that, I think's off of a jumper. But somebody's obviously cut it off, and they were going to put it on something. So this lady was a quilter, and that's another one. So obviously this is made out of a linen. So I think that was probably bought as a patch to go on something. I'm not so sure, but I'll use that in something. And then this little piece here, look. But the material that I took upstairs, the one that I was showing you, which was a small piece of it, it's actually from Japan. So, and it felt so lovely. So I was thrilled about that. I've started making another shawl. Somebody was asking me how I do these. Well, I just make a chain to the length that I want the shawl to be, and then I just keep going till I've got like an oblong that I'm satisfied with, that just fits on the shoulders and comes down. And because the nature of the crocheting, sorry about this, it's because it's early in the morning, you've got holes in it. So it's ideal to put a button on, and you've no need to make a buttonhole because you've already got holes in the crocheting, and it seems to work. So this, I'll pull some stitches out now, is a cone of wool that I got from a leak in Staffordshire from a charity shop. Now this was £3, but I don't know whether I can see inside what it says. Just says brown and the batch number, but it really is wool, I'm sure of it. It's just got that feeling. Pardon me, I'm really sorry about that. It's just got the feel of it. It is a little bit rough and possibly itchy, but not too bad, not too fluffy, so I think that'll be fine. And it's like a cobweb when you do it. I thought, shall I put two together? And I thought, no, because I do like these thinner ones, and they look ever so nice when they're on, and they're so simple to do. I mean, I don't like following patterns, so this is to keep my hands going. I just sit and do this repetitive stitch, and sometimes I'll do like the granny square stitch, and then other times I'll do like a moss stitch, like the Tunisian stitch. So that's how I do that. I thought I'd just explain. And of course now I've got all these buttons to go and use on them, because I try and find a nice big button. If you can imagine, it goes round your neck and then you put the button on just to fasten it on, and it sort of goes like that at the bottom, and it's ideal, it really is. I love them, and I thought I'd love one made in this colour, because I do like that stone colour. Something we can always learn, can't we? Now, I have just gone into a lot of crafts just by the skin of my teeth, really. I don't really prepare much or get obsessed with things being right. I just get on with it. And obviously, the more I learn through YouTube, the more I learn how wrong I've done several things. But I mean, what is wrong? You know, when you think about it, there's no wrong, is there really? Well, there is, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not too precious, let's put it that way. But I love to learn, and it's like my patchworks that I make. I mean, this one, it's all hand stitched, and that is actually a patchwork quilt, but it's not quilted, because to be quilted, I've found that it's usually when you've got 3 pieces of material together and you stitch through it. That's what I've learnt from that. So it's really a patchwork until you start stitching through it, and then it turns into a quilt. That's what I've come to realise. I might be wrong, but also I didn't realise, because I've very much used whatever I've got, and I didn't realise that there were specialist things for this, that, whatever. So I've also learned that there's special needles for doing quilting, and also special thread as well, which makes a lot of sense. Obviously, people that used to do quilting and patchwork, they hadn't got the means of having things that were special. They just used whatever they'd got, and I quite like that. But it's also nice to learn about what the correct thing is to use. So that's been interesting. And I think when you're younger, you take things more on board, because I think you've got more room in your brain. But when you're older, I think you've you've seen so many images and picked up so much information that things don't stick in your head the same unless you're ultra interested in something and you're really focused. A bit like I've been in the past with plants. I love plants, as you will probably have known. Particularly, I like, not the Latin names, I like the cottage garden names, you know, like, for instance, granny bonnets and, you know, poached eggplant and names like that. I prefer those really. I suppose, you know, if you know all the Latin ones, it must be very good because they often tell a story, don't they? And you learn what some of the Latin names actually mean and how we've used some of it in our vocabulary. But I'm going off at tangents again, aren't I? But some of the thread that I got with the bartering from the wood, if you saw the other video that I made, because my husband bartered with somebody that he would help with cutting up the trees at this property if he could have half of the wood, and he left the other half for the person whose property it is, which was very good of my husband. It was very good of the man, but it was very good of my husband because it's very hard work cutting wood up, and all the wood that we burn on the wood burner, it's all sourced by my husband. We don't very often buy any, so there's a lot of work gone into it. So my husband got some wood out of helping somebody, saw somebody else, said to my husband if I could have 2 of those bags of wood. My husband knows them. I've got your wife some craft supplies, and that's how I've ended up with all these buttons and material and this sewing box as well. So that's the backstory, just in case you didn't catch what I was talking about. But I've got some superior linen thread, and this is made in Ireland, and it's number 30. You know, I just find it absolutely fascinating. And of course, when I find things out like this, I have to go and have a look at Auntie Google and see what the story is behind it, you know, and try and research the company that it's come from. So I was really looking to see if I'd got any wooden bobbins in this. Now this looks a very thick thread. Difficult to say, that is. The labels come off, but it's a wooden bobbin again, so I'm absolutely thrilled. These are like treasure to me, and I'm sure a lot of you will understand what I'm saying. That's a Duer Silco, and it looks like it hasn't been used. Rust red. I think that's lovely. Rust red, how lovely. It's showing more of a brown, but of course that is the colour that it goes, isn't it? When things go rusty. And then we've got another one here. English Sewing Limited. It feels very, very strong, this does. It's all tangled up. But it's lovely, isn't it? I think the thing with me is I used to like to go, as my grandmother would say, rooting. My grandma, that's what I always called her, I'd go wandering off in her bungalow and she'd say to me, "Are you rooting?" Because I'd be looking through some of her stuff, you know, and thoroughly enjoying it. So I think I just love rooting in stuff, and that's me. And it's a bit like you know, what's in the box. It's intriguing, isn't it? And also, it's, in a way, it's quite a private thing that you're delving into somebody's past as well. And I'm so pleased that they didn't get thrown away, because I find that really disrespectful, that things aren't looked at as value. You know, things are all of value to somebody, aren't they? Some people like Gucci bags and beautiful diamonds and flash cars, things like that. And, you know, that's lovely. If you love something, that's fine. But for me, if I've been given some old curtains or somebody's sewing box, I mean, that's so precious to a lot of us. You know, one of the things that I took from my mum's was a button box, because that was so precious to me. And I've used some of her buttons since I've been making things, and that is paying homage really to what somebody's saved, isn't it? I mean, this lady, I mean, this is only a few of them. She must have been saving these probably all of her grown-up life to get as many as those. And I think with living in a area that was famous for making clothes, probably some of them were from factories, you know, because if they're end of line or whatever, they probably were allowed to have some. You know, you just don't know the story of it. But I just thought I'd share this little bit of looking through it in a little bit more depth. You know, she's used the interior of toilet roll or kitchen roll to put this thread on and push the other just inside, just to keep it right. You know, and she's made like a little cardboard spool to put this shearing elastic on. It's just fantastic to me to see it. And you could tell by some of the things. I thought, yeah, she was a quilter, you know. I mean, I've no idea who it was, and I don't want to know really, because it's very personal, isn't it? But I'm just grateful, and I hope they're looking down and thinking, well, that was worth saving, and it's not been thrown away. Right, lots of love, everybody. Another quick thing is, I thought I'd just explain, when I leave a comment, or very often if I write anything, I'll put a few kisses and bees, because I think bees are so important. We'd have no food if we didn't have bees. And also, I think to show affection, it's not a bad thing, is it? And if you can spread a little bit of positivity, then let's all do it. You know, it certainly makes our day, doesn't it, a little bit brighter. Lots of love. Bye.